Hello and welcome back to Mark Sussex Allotment. It is Wednesday the 3rd of June and it's been about 10 days since the last update, so let's have a look around. So like I said before, up the top here I've been weed killing and strimming back, and I've been removing some of the wood on some of these beds because they're just falling apart now, and they've been there for 8 years. So but the weed killer is starting to take effect, which is good, and hopefully in about another 2 weeks I'll be able to sort of get working on this. Up the top here I've netted over the berries. I think there's two red currant plants there. You can just start to see one of them just turning red there actually. One of them's starting to ripen. There's not much on there, they've been shredded by the pigeons and things. But this is looking good. I've taken all of the weeds and stuff that's around it and had a good trim around, and there's some really nice gooseberries starting to form on here now. So hopefully the pigeons won't sort of nest on top of this and sort of try and peck through like they do sometimes, but that's good, that's really good. The rhubarb up here has really taken grip again and started to sort of move on, which is really good. This one's I'm going to remove, I think, because it's just had its day, and it doesn't seem to be producing anymore. So yeah, that's the top end. There's not too much going on up here really. I moved a lot of wood from the middle of the allotment and I'll have to get that down the tip as soon as I can, and just general sort of tidying up, which is a bit of a mess. Inside here there's not a lot going on, apart from a couple of potatoes that I planted, sowed a few weeks ago, and they're starting to show their head still. So moving down here you'll see that I had the planter which was about 5 foot off the ground, but I've this evening sawed off the legs of that, and I'm going to use it as a raised bed now for sort of salad and things. So I've just dug that into the ground, and I'm going to probably put some sort of mesh or something underneath and make a sort of bag and just fill it with compost. Although looking at it, it's probably going to take about maybe 3 or 4 bags of compost in each bit. Probably going to cost me about 30 or 40 quid to fill that up, because I haven't really got any compost here yet. It's just too dry. We've had a little bit of rain today, but not enough. I started a second one, and I've put a load of comfrey leaves and stuff in there, so hopefully that will start working. I can start turning them into each other, and get something decent. But at the moment I've got nothing ready to go in there. I've got one little bit of comfrey left, because I put the rest in the compost bin, and I've made some comfrey tea which is around the corner, which I'll show you in a moment. The thornless blackcurrant is starting to come back after I've cut all this lot back. You can see that's completely thornless there, which is nice because normally they rip you to shreds. I've been weed clearing around here as well. You'll just start to see some of the nettles starting to go a bit yellow now. I don't really like using things like glyphosate. I try to be as organic as I can, but unfortunately I've let this sort of go too far, and it's too much for one person. So I'm going to have to use a bit of weed killer this year. The blackcurrant is coming back nicely. I don't think I'll get anything off it this year because I think the berries grow on 2nd year stems, and I think that's only new stems this year because I hacked it quite back. Strawberry bed, which I've put some straw around now, and there's a few starting to come. This is only New Year's once, so next year will be the year when they start producing really well, but we might get a few bonus crops off that. The other rhubarb, which is now massive, and you can see from the previous video that these leaves really are starting to come out now. That's sort of beach ball size, that one, so that's really good. I've got some stuff I need to transplant, which I'm running out of time. Tomatoes mainly, some more chard, and some cobra beans, which I'm going to put up this trellis here that I found when I was cleaning up. So I need to do some work with that. The shallots are doing really well, and a few little gems which are about a week or 2 away from harvesting. They're just starting to heart up now inside there, which is really good. Lots of activity in here. The Savoy cabbages and cauliflowers are doing really well. I've got some more potatoes in pots which I've moved from the greenhouse down to here. I've got the cucumbers, they're really taken off now, although I've fed the leaves so they're looking a bit dirty unfortunately. Rushing around one night. Aubergine down there which is taken now, and the other cucumbers which have really set off, which is brilliant. So we should have some sort of mini fruits on those soon, about 2 weeks hopefully. I've had to plant some more beetroot because they didn't do very well, and I think I've got some more spring onions in there. I've got my mini peppers, which are just starting to get a little bit of fruit going there, and some poppins for the garden, and some wasabi rocket, which is really nice. Over here I've got radishes, which I've taken loads of now, and they're huge. This is literally 2 or 3 weeks worth of growth. It's absolutely crazy. So if you're ever wanting to do radishes, look no further than a little sort of 1 foot by ½ foot pot, about 6 inches deep, fresh compost, whack them in, water them, and in 4 or 5 weeks you've got some really nice radishes. And I've got a successional sowing of them there because they've been such a great success over here. The Monstru peas have taken very well, and they're going up the bamboo there. No flowers yet, but it'll be a couple of weeks and we'll have some fruit there. Some more potatoes, a tomato plant which is doing really well. I'm going to take that on home and put it on the patio. Some more potatoes, and the rest of my tomatoes here, which were starting to look a bit funny at the top, but I've been told or read that it's to do with the nighttime temperature and the daytime temperature being quite vast, so that the temperature drops down to maybe sort of 7 or 8 degrees at night, but it's probably in here up to about 35, 40 during the day, and they don't really like it. But they are starting to sort themselves out now and stretch their legs out a little bit, which is good. And there's a few more down there. So everything in here is doing really well. No signs of pests, no signs of any sort of disease or anything yet. And my real success is this pepper, which is grafted, but from just B&Q. But look at that, they're fantastic. Really good. That's not far off full size already. It's probably got about another inch to grow. So I'm really happy about that. In the past I've suffered with things like botrytis, which is a shame, but this year they're doing really well. It is quite early though, so we'll see what happens. Out here I've got the spring onions, which I've got in clumps. I got a great tip off Dan from Allotment Diary. So there's a few in there, and I've got some more sowed in the polytunnel. It'll stop popping up and I'll put them in another bed. My outdoor brassicas, which are nowhere near the size of the ones inside the polytunnel. It's insane, the difference really. Some more little gems, which are starting to take really well and hearten up a little bit, which is really good. And I've put some chard in here as well, and there will be beetroot going in there, but they didn't take, so I've had to sow some more. Runner beans, which I've rabbit proofed with some sheep wire this evening, going all the way around because they're nibbling everything at the moment. So they're doing really well. The cobra beans, which don't seem to have done anything, but again I've rabbit proofed those this evening, just with some stuff that I found around the plot. So that's good. We've got butternut squash in here, which is starting to kick on a bit now. They didn't do a lot, but they're starting to really put out some sort of a new growth now, and tendrils and things, and a few flowers. 2 courgettes, which I've cleaned the little cloches that they're under because they were getting really dirty and hadn't been cleaned for a few years. And these ones are planted about a day after, but they're not really doing very much. But I'm hoping it will kick on in a few days' time. Excellent. I've rabbit proofed the sweet corn, and that is now starting to just about take off. But the rabbits did have a good old go on these, and taken a few of them beyond repair, unfortunately. So I've had to plant some more in the polytunnel, but I'll just transplant those when they're ready. The asparagus is doing really well. I've taken quite a few crops off this already, but again you'll see the rabbits are absolutely eating everything. They're nibbling anything they can see. So it's just protection up here this year. I've got a watermelon which is looking quite sickly. I don't really know what's going on with that. Another courgette here, and a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, which again hasn't done very much, but I do remember from previous years that these things do sometimes take a while to get going, especially when it's sort of been transplanted from small plants. But I think they do better this time of year if you sow them direct. But anyway, that's it for me tonight. I hope you're all staying safe, and the lockdown will soon be over and we can all have a great summer. So